Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 23 career mode, and today we're here for the 9th round of our full Moto3 season for the first ever Kazakhstan Grand Prix. Now, if you didn't see the last episode at the Dutch TT, I do recommend you go check that one out before we do get into this one. A pretty unfortunate weekend for me. It skipped straight to the race, so I had to start from the back of the grid. I have figured out why that happened. Basically, the binding that I used to stop a recording is the same as the race only button on that screen. Well, one of the buttons is I press Control R, and one of the buttons is R on the keyboard apparently. Obviously, I didn't know that because I use a controller, and that's why it says it's a race only, and I didn't catch that as I stopped the recording and just went straight into the weekend. So it was my bad after all. But either way, that should be resolved for this episode. Now, it is a very important round going in here. We do need to beat Jaume Masia to confirm the Honda superiority just before the summer break as well. This is the last round, of course, before we get to the summer break. So without any further ado then, let's head into the Kazakhstan Grand Prix, a completely new track for me. I've done a little bit of practice, so I found the AI level, which seems to be similar actually to the other circuits, and see how we get on in free practice. So then, at the end of free practice 1, you can see we've ended up in 4th position, which is always nice to see. The simulated times didn't knock us down. I did try the skip to quali method. It does seem to have worked pretty much. Holgado and Moreira seem to have improved quite a bit. Same with Artigas, although Artigas is only a small fraction ahead of me, but they're 0.4 ahead of the rest of the field, so I could assume maybe that is a slight time simulation. But considering I thought I was going to struggle a lot going into this weekend, I'm quite happy that the pace does seem relatively good. I'm picking up the circuit as well. It's actually a bit easier when I'm following the AI as well, so in the race it should be a little bit better. But of course, we've got qualifying to do first. We should go straight through to qualifying 2, so let's get straight into it. So here we are then in qualifying 2, and no one seems to have improved in the other free practice sessions, which is always good. Coming through Q1 then, we've got Dennis Onchu, Colin Vaya, Kaito Toba, and Jose Antonio Rueda. So both IO bikes there, and both Tech 3 bikes are already in there. So we've got all 4 Red Bull bikes in this Q2 session. But it is actually cloudy, so I might try going with the soft. You can see I already had that on actually, but that was just something I was trying at the end of practice to see if I could find a little bit more time. And it did seem quite similar, so in these cloudy conditions, the soft actually might work a little bit, and if it doesn't, we can always go in with the medium. I just wanted to make sure I had enough medium tyres for the race, you see, and I also didn't know in practice whether I'd actually go through Q1 or not, because, you know, the simulated times sometimes have shoved us from topping the session to Q1. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this track. I'm enjoying it more, to be honest, than I did before. I really don't like that, by the way. The fact that that curb just ends and makes you go onto that other layout, and you're going to get track limits warning for that invalidated lap time. So I need to be careful, because I'll probably end up accidentally doing that in the race, because I'm trying to hug the curb, basically, to open up the next part of the corner as much as possible. But then you follow the curb round, and then all of a sudden you're going off the track. It is a bit confusing, especially when you don't know the circuit. The circuit looks really bad as well, just because there's not really much scenery around, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming Milestone for, because of course the track wasn't even built yet, so there's nothing they could really do about it. No sponsor boards, no braking meter boards at most of the corners, so it does make it just looks really plain and bare, so that's another reason why I'm not a massive fan of it. But now that I'm learning the layout, it is a bit easier. I'm not running off the track everywhere. The AI are, though. You'll see that in the race, but the AI are definitely running off in a few places. The track limits definitely don't exist for them. So here we are then, about to start our qualifying lap. You can see the front tyre is overheated a little bit already, so perhaps was the wrong decision, but I thought I'd risk it since it's cloudy. So all towards the line then, we've got 2 red sectors and a personal best, obviously, in the first sector. Up towards the line, what's it going to be? 50.5, so a good chunk slower than we did in free practice, and Asman has immediately beaten that, so yeah, we need to head back to the pits to try and improve on that. I'm surprised it's that much slower, because I was doing pretty consistent, like, sort of low 50s at least, so yeah, a little bit strange. And Kelso goes in with the 49.9, so yeah, we really do need to find a little bit of time here, otherwise we are going to be towards the back of the session. So I'm out for another run here on the medium tyre this time. I'm right behind Joel Kelso, a bit closer than I probably should be, to be honest, but I closed on him on the lap. But I'm using him as a bit of a tow, because I think it will probably help us out, and of course he owes us once. It's what he did in the last race. That's an example of them going off the track there. I'm sure we'll see that plenty of times in the race, because they seem to do it every lap. So all towards the line then, it is a big improvement, almost 7 tenths. It actually might be over 7 tenths by the time we get to the line, so we should be right up there fighting for pole. Asman still second actually, but up to 3rd place on the front row. We've completely messed up that first corner. Into the gravel we go. Just got to make sure we stay on board the bike, but following Kelso didn't really help much, to be honest. I was slightly under, I was about a tenth or so under. I was 0.4 under at one point, but I think it's because I carried too much speed into a corner and then lost it all on the exit. But literally, it was like the last 2 sectors where I was losing all my time. I still lose a lot of time in the last sector because I was actually red going through sector 3, so yeah, they do seem a little bit overpowered. I think it's because they go on the green through one of the corners, so they can probably just carry more speed through. But I'm pretty happy with that, especially considering that Holgado is behind us on the grid. Not that it particularly matters. Of course, we're not really fighting him, but Artigas is Messia. I guess we should just focus all of our efforts on Messia for this round, since we do need to beat him for the supremacy. So, yeah, Messia's starting behind us. So if it ends like this, I'll be pretty happy. So we've actually been bumped down to 8th position at the end of the session, so that's a little bit disappointing. Now, Yamanaka actually overtook me before I actually simulated the rest of the session, but I did the skip 2 race to try and stop the simulation so much. And to be fair, I probably can't argue that it's unfair, because I was already behind a few of them, so for a couple more just to pop ahead of us is not too bad. But Moreira and Holgado, again, have got 0.4 on the whole field, which is a bit suspicious, even on Ortola there, who is in 3rd place, the other of the Titanic trio, I guess you'd call them, of Moto3. So it could be quite an interesting race. Sector 1 will be quite interesting because, again, the AI are all over the place. You will see in the race just how bad the AI are at this circuit. Their lap times are not too bad, but they definitely don't have the same track limits as the player. Let's put it that way. Obviously, there's no penalties for them, but they clearly weren't trained with this version of the track, just the amount of times they go off it. So, yeah, we may as well head into the race now then and let the chaos ensue. And maybe we could try and take advantage of it, especially since we are, of course, in front of Messia already on the grid. We've just got to try and carve our way through and put as many people between us as we possibly can. So actually being told to use a hard rear here, but to be honest, I think I'm just going to go with the soft, because the soft has been holding up absolutely fine all weekend, even in the sunny conditions, so I think I'll probably stick with that. Maybe I'll regret that come the end of the race, but you never know. There's no point putting on a hard tyre when I feel like the wear has been okay. In the past, I've gone against the grain, and it has worked out alright. I'm going to go with the medium front, because that does seem to just be the objectively better option in this game, but we are going to go with the soft tyre. Maybe I will regret it, like I said, but so far the grip has felt pretty decent, and a lot of the time, the hard tyre just doesn't get the temperature in it, so it also feels quite bad. Even though it probably doesn't wear quite as much, it does feel like it's struggling with the grip. But there you go then, we can see our objectives on the right hand side of the screen, one step at a time. Of course, we need to beat Messia to get some additional support and to get in the top 15. So without any further ado, let's get this race started. The first ever Kazakhstan Grand Prix. Hopefully we can bring home a good result.
The fans in the stands are waiting in anticipation. The riders are ready to take on the first turn. As soon as the lights go out, the race at the Sokol circuit is on.
So we've got Moreira on pole position, and of course we know that Holgado second and Ortola third to the 3 that have been dominating this season so far. But the lights are on, they're waiting for them to get here for the Kazakhstan Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Not a very good start immediately. We've already been overtaken by Messia as we go down towards turn 1, but we should be able to go quite deep into turn 1. We've got Joel Kelso on our outside. We almost went down there. Joel Kelso touched us and the front end went a little bit, so doesn't matter what circuit it is, always seems to be Kelso sort of holding us up. Now we've got somebody else that was getting in our way a couple of rounds ago, Via, coming past us, and it has been terrible. And there you go, first example, Suzuki, and I think that's Farioli going completely off the circuit. Back up the inside of a few riders. It has been an awful start, down to P13 from P8 on the grid. But again, we are probably about to see some more AI go off the circuit through this double right-hander. Oh, I looked at the inside of Via there, but to be honest, I just made a bit of a mistake and wasn't able to get through. Messia was off the track there. Artigas miles off the circuit, which is good for us, because Artigas, of course, is one of our championship rivals. So to see him down here with us is pretty good. But we need to try and carve our way back through the pack. Via a little bit slow there. One of the IO bikes as well, I think that might be Rueda. It's not on Chew, is it? But there you go again, more AI off the track. That was Sasaki off the track there. Via was off the track there. I think Ricardo Rossi as well. So that's what I mean. Half the corners, they just ride off the circuit. Where is Artigas going? He's trying to overtake literally on the tarmac on the outside. And we're being blasted by the Husqvarna there of Colin Vea. We should be able to get back past him into this right-hander. We're closing up a lot to Artigas and Rossi in front. But just trying to be careful not to hit the back of anybody. Obviously, we've already had a little bit of contact. But really, that was not the ideal first lap whatsoever. And here we go, we're sort of split in the middle here. We're on between Rossi and Artigas there. And there you can see, again, off the circuit. And then they sort of just bash themselves back on. I think, again, this is another corner where they go off a little bit. Actually, no, I was wrong about that one. Although Artigas did still cut the inside. So, there you go. Like I said, the AI do not stick to the track limits very much at this circuit. Which is actually an advantage to us in some corners. But most of the time, it really isn't. And you can see their massive straight line speed advantage actually was on Chu. It wasn't Rueda. Onshu's got a bit wide. Can we cut underneath him? Actually, no, we can't, because it's not MotoGP22. You can't really do that anymore. Although we're trying to get him here. At least we're on the attack through the sector. Last time, of course, so going through this sector, we were being overtaken, and we've passed Onshu there. But there goes Via again. Colin Via, please leave me alone. It's just like Saxovic all over again. So Sasaki, last race's winner, just ahead of us there, battling with Artigas. The two riders, really, that we are fighting in the championship with. They are the two ahead of us in the championship. So really, if we could try and pick these guys off, would be ideal. But you can see Messia is a few spots ahead, and of course he is our main target for the Honda Supremacy. We've run massively wide there. To be fair, that's a mistake from my part. And we've just been shuffled back, although Toba's helped us out a little bit there, but it's ramming into Rueda. This time it really is Rueda, so I don't know what's happened to On-Chew. He seems to have dropped miles back through the pack. They're just riding into me on the straight. I don't know what they're doing. They just put me on the outside curb. That could have been a big crash for me there. But hopefully we could just try and get away from them now and get back onto the back of this pack in front, because we are losing a bit of time. Just realised Joel Kelso's leading the race, so at least he's far away from me. It's fair, he went round the outside of me into turn 1, so he's had a really good start to be up there. So 49.3 to Kelso then, on that lap, 50.6 to me, so we lost a lot of time to him there, 1.3 seconds. Riccardo Rossi's been hung out to dry. Can we get up the inside of him? I think we can. Can we try and get Sasaki into the next right? No, not quite. CRT Gas is on the wrong line going into the next corner. On the curb he goes. He's run a bit wide. Same with Sasaki. Oh, we've been hit by Rueda there. That was close. Well, it wasn't close. We did get hit, but it was close to us crashing, I guess. On the inside we go of Sasaki. Can we get him here? Seems like, no, not quite actually. He managed to hang it around the outside. Maybe we could try and get around the outside into this braking zone, because again, they're quite weak here. If I had to try and outbrake someone that I know is going to go wide, and we've just dropped back through the pack, so it does seem like it's going to be one of those races where we've probably got the pace to be a bit higher up, especially you can see Masia pulling away from us. We're just being held back by some of the AI here, as we just bash up the inside of Kaito Toba. Right, so onto the back straight this time. I was actually in the wrong gear, but probably helped us out a little bit there. Rueda went off the track, Sasaki went off the track, so we got the drive on those two. Try and get this slipstream here from Yamanaka in the distance, but it's just not enough. You can see they just have so much more power. I don't know whether it is just because I'm on the Honda, or whether it's because I'm not on an upgraded Honda or what, but they have so much more straight line speed than me. And we got the inside of Sasaki, so up into P9 now. We can try and dispatch these three in front, and it's Masia ahead. And I do feel like we genuinely do have the pace to catch up to Masia. We do have good pace at this circuit. And on the inside we go of Yamanaka. On the inside as well of RT Gas. It's going to be close. Yamanaka's going to come back up the inside. Oh, a massive wheelie. The wheelies are really messing us up. We shouldn't be wheeling this much on a Moto 3 bike, really. I know we're using a lot of power Moto 3, but we've got to make up for that massive power disadvantage. We've just rammed into the side of Rueda, so apologies for that one. And this is it. We're getting stuck in the thick of the battle, which is also like 0.7 in the last sector to our previous time. It is a good battle, but it is annoying when I know I could go quicker. And here we go, around the outside, going to try and risk it. It is a bit of a risky pass around the outside, but to be fair, I'm not going to lose more places when I'm already at the back of the pack, although they are going to try their best to edge me out. I didn't gain anything from it, unfortunately. In fact, maybe we did lose the spot to Nepa there. And now Toba just cut the corner to overtake me, which is lovely. That's Riccardo Rossi through as well, so we are being shuffled further back, it seems. Not the inside of the 256.58 guys. Should be able to get that one done, hopefully. There, Rossi hangs it on the outside, actually rides into the side of us. But this time I'm going to go on the inside and not try and outbrake him around the outside, because that was a mistake on the last lap that we did to Sasaki. And to be fair, Riccardo Rossi has hung it in there, but running on that green should affect him on the run towards the next corner. We should be able to get past him. We'll try and get past RT Gas, trying to hold the inside line at this hairpin, because I know that AI are going to go off the circuit again. So can we get past Asman? Asman's got a bit wide there. We should be able to get him. I don't care if we're going to have a little bit of contact with him. And might try dive bomb Sasaki and RT Gas into this corner as well. Well, we've not even had to dive bomb them, to be fair. We just sort of overtook them normally. This time Sasaki again, just on the last lap, like on the last lap, trying to get the inside of us. He has successfully done it. This time I didn't wheelie though, so we've managed to keep RT Gas behind, although he's going to attack us again into the last corner. Not quite able to do that one, so we are back up into the top 10 once again. So it is just a case of maybe trying to pick a couple off at a time, because otherwise you just get caught up in the pack if you try to take more than one, although, to be fair, sometimes you don't really have much of a choice. On the inside we go of Sasaki then. So back up into P9 now then. Yamanaka ahead of us, then it's Nepa, and I think that is Rueda ahead of him. So onto the back straight once again, they go off the circuit. Yamanaka has affected his drive. So we have got Yamanaka. You can see we're under by a whole second. That's how much time that AI have been costing us. We're actually on for a 49.6 here, which would be way quicker than what we did in qualifying. So I think it does show that the cloudy conditions are actually a disadvantage for the player, just because of there's being less grip or something like that. Maybe it is the slipstream as well, but yeah, it's strange that we're so much quicker in the race than in qualifying, if we could keep this lap together at least. Around the outside of Nepa, I didn't even mean to do that. I really didn't even mean to do that. I wasn't going to commentate it because I was just going to go into the corner normally. But there we go, we've passed Nepa, then Rueda's up next, and all of a sudden we're in the top 6 if we pass him. Although Nepa comes back underneath us. So 49.3, fastest lap of the race. So there we go, that just proves that we really have got the pace when we're not being held up by the AI. It's like 0.6 quicker than when in qualifying as well. Nepa's a bit wide, Rueda's even wider. Nepa off the track, we've overtaken him. So we've got a clean shot now at Rueda. He's a bit wide through turn 9. Can we try and get him down towards turn 10? This could be the opportunity to get up into the top 6. Here we got the inside of Jose Antonio. Oh, that was aggressive. We're going to force him out a bit, but I think we've made it stick just about. He's done a bit of a wheelie. I've done a bit of a wheelie as well. So he goes back through because he ran wide through the next part of the corner. But you can see in front, actually, if you look on the map, Kelso has pulled miles ahead of the rest of the pack. So if we could pass Rueda here, the group in front is actually the battle for second place. And I feel like we do have the pace to catch them up. Rueda's got a bit wide there. Can we get the switch back underneath him? He's got onto the green. This should be our opportunity. You can see we're under, again, by a massive amount. Because, again, we're not being held up by the AI. He's side by side with us. We should be able to get him into the chicane, though. Yes, we have. And Danny Holgado, the championship leader, has made a huge mistake. And it's pretty much put us onto the back of him now. Here comes Rueda, though, with that supreme straight line speed. I don't stand a chance when I have a slipstream. So Rueda's trying to overtake us again. The supreme straight line speed of that IO bike. As we... Actually, I thought we were going to do the fastest lap of the race. But obviously our delta was a bit wrong. That's why I was so surprised he was catching us. So obviously our pace was a little bit worse on that lap. But at least we've now got Holgado, another marker to go at. And hopefully maybe Masia in front can also make a similar mistake to him. I really am unfortunate that this is the race where Masia's decided to get his act together and be up in second place. I'm in a very rare position here where I'm quicker than Danny Holgado. And unfortunately he's not pulling us up to the group in front, and we've just done another 49.3, so we've pretty much matched our fastest lap of the rest on that one, so we're still motoring along. Morera in front's made a bit of a mistake there. That's not good because it's Masia. I needed to make the mistake because I need to beat Masia here. I can't just accept like P3. That's not good enough. Here we go, the inside of Holgado. And we pulled it down just about. He's going to try and hang it on the outside. A bit of contact, a bit of a wheelie from myself. He's come across into our path as well to break into turn 5. Are we going to get the inside line on him? I think we are. He's going to go wide. Everybody in front goes off there. Masia and Ortola cost themselves both a load of time. Sorry, not Masia, Morera and Ortola. Masia did go off there as well, but he didn't cost himself anything, really. So Ortola and Morera are looking back at us now. The gap is down to 1.4 for Masia, so we are closing on him a decent amount, but he's just not going to get held up now that he's got the lead over those guys. So we're about to start the penultimate lap of the race then. I think we can still get the podium here, but for once I'm actually not going to be happy with that, as Morera and Ortola are still battling. Again, how often is it that anyone's faster than these three, let alone 3 riders? Herrera's off through turn 5. We should get the run on him down towards the chicane, although again, we're just lacking so much straight line speed. If we had the same straight line speed of the AI, we'd be absolutely flying here. But there we got the inside of Morera. We should get Ortola here as well, maybe. Leaving the space through the chicane. He's hit us a little bit. That's really cost us. Masia's gone miles off the track. Don't know what Masia's doing in front. We've got the run here on Ivan Ortola. The gap is 1.2 to Masia. Maybe we can catch him if we can pass Ortola with this slipstream then. The gap is 1.1. The gap is closing. We know we're quick into this next corner. We can get a lot of time on the AI. And we're not following the AI through that section. We gain so much time. Masia off the track again. We're basically on the back of him now. We actually have a chance at beating Jam and Masia here. So about to start the final lap of the race. I think I'm on course for another 49.3. Yes, I am. Another 49.3 on that penultimate lap of the race. Just one to go now to pass Masia. We've got a second back as well, so we've not got to worry about the guys behind. He's done a wheelie. He's lost himself loads of time here. Masia is really vulnerable now as we go through turn 5. We're on the inside of Masia. Can we get the job done? We aren't even in contact with Jammer, but we've got past him now. He's had more contact with us as he rejoins the circuit. But there we go. We're up into P2. 4 seconds to Kelso. Kelso's absolutely dominated this race. So here we go then through the final turn of the race. We're going to get second place. We're going to beat Masia. We're going to complete the turning point. But what a comeback it's been. We were mired back in the pack for so long. This second place is really sweet. It's like Portimao 2.0 and a random AI rider so it's been miles ahead of the field and we beat everybody else, had the fastest pace. Really, if we'd been able to get away at the beginning, we probably could have gone with Joel Kelso there. We could have had a good scrap for the win, but Kelso wins then. He's been a thorn in our side the last couple of episodes now. He's cost us a race win basically twice now. Once by actually beating us, but once, of course, in Assen by just being a nuisance throughout the entire race. But I tell you what, I'm not too mad at all because we beat Masia. That was our main objective. And to be honest, with about 3 laps to go, with about 3 seconds in front of us, I didn't think that was going to happen at all. There were 2 corners on the track, basically the fast right-hander and then the one after it where they were losing so much time to me. It's where all my lap time was coming because I'd really figured out how to take them by the end of the race versus that AI. So that's pretty much where all of his gap went. We beat all of our championship rivals. We beat the leaders by a decent amount as well there. So probably for the first time actually making inroads into the championship lead. We move up to 4th in the Riders' Championship then, ahead of Artigas and Sasaki, of course, because both of those guys seem to be a bit further down the order. Still 79 points off of the championship lead, though, so yeah, that's still not on the table unless we have a remarkable comeback. Although, in fairness, we could still get 3rd, because Ortola's now 30 points behind. He's over a race wins behind, so if we have a really good second half of the season, it's possible that we could get the top 3, which I think, considering our start, would be pretty good. Kelso moves up in the championship as well, up to 7th place with that race win, and Masia moves down to 8th. We've got 20 points ahead of Masia there, so we are the best Honda by quite a way in this championship. As for the Team's Championship then, there is a little bit of change at the top. You can see MT Helmets once again take over from Red Bull KTM Tech 3 with a slightly poorer race for Holgado there. CF Moto move up to 3rd place in the championship with, of course, Kelso winning that one. Only 1 point ahead of MTA, but I tell you what, you can definitely tell that Nepa is hamstringing that MTA team because Ortola battling for the championship, but they're down in 4th. I mean, I suppose Artigas is not doing too bad in the championship, and I suppose Kelso's near him as well, but even still, Ortola really is carrying that MTA team, but pretty much everybody else stays static in the championship. But there you go then, that was the first Kazakhstan Grand Prix. I actually enjoyed that quite a lot, to be honest. I know going into it in the last episode I was saying I really don't like the track and stuff, and to an extent that's still true, but having done some more laps here, it's actually not that bad. There are some flowing sections, and it's actually quite fun to battle AI, although, of course, they did spend half the lap off the track, but in the end, I actually was able to play that to my advantage, even though they, in theory, were gaining a little bit in some places from it. I actually managed to basically alter my lines to make it so I just capitalise on what they were doing. But we may as well head back to the Career Hub then now. We've completed another turning point, so we'll see what we get for that one, see what the social media messages say, and perhaps even do the summer break as well, because I think there will be something to do there. So we may as well go straight into the Career Hub. So we gained a decent amount of reputation this time, 2,650, because of course we completed the turning point, got the extra development off the back of that, completing that, and then the team objective of 1,900 in the first place for getting in the top 15. So actually a pretty good weekend for us there, and we'll probably get a new turning point now, I would imagine. Okay, so actually no, we're being brought onto the summer break. Choose your path. The summer break is the moment when you can express your aspirations for next season. So Moto 2 or stay in the current category. Now, regardless of whether we win this championship, I'm going to go up to Moto 2. So let's have a look at Moto 2. So it didn't actually take us to a team selection or anything like that, which I thought was a bit strange. I would have thought we'd be able to try and choose what team we're going to sign with. Well, maybe that comes later on. I hope I've not done something wrong, because I'm not sticking in Moto 3. I'll restart the career mode save if I have to do it right. But we have been given a new turning point then here. Raise the level, place in the top 5 within 3 GPs. So following an exciting start to the season, a biker wants to increase Vision Track Racing's ambitions. And then we've actually got 2 messages here on the social media feed, both by Scott Ogden by the looks of it, which is a little bit strange. So actually, it's quite a positive thing there from Scott. It says, the entire team have been working incredibly hard. The fact that Biker came second doesn't surprise me. So actually a positive thing from Scott probably for the first time this whole career mode. Oh, can we not reply to that? Doesn't seem like we can. No, I don't think we can reply to either of these. So this does another one here then. Oh, finally, Moto 3 is taking a break. We need it. It's been a tough first half of the season. Now it's time to recharge our batteries. So yeah, doesn't seem like we can actually respond to either of those messages, I guess because they're not really aimed at us and because they're positive, I suppose. But there we go then. I thought we'd actually have to do something in the summer break, but it just seemed like we just picked that we wanted to go up to Moto 2. I hope nothing's gone wrong there. Hopefully it's not like a case of now I'm going to be stuck in Moto 3. I don't really know, because it does seem like usually you get a team selection. Maybe that comes later in the season. I'm not too sure. I might actually have a little look and see if I can find that one out. But before we do end this episode, I do actually want to have a look at the bike development to see sort of what's happening there. So it's that the packs will be applied at the beginning of the next season. So yes, on the team comparison, it has now changed. You can see a lot of the teams are now completely full. MT Helmets, Intact GP, Leopard, GasGas, 658's almost full as well. Now, I'm not actually sure how that compares in terms of how it was at the beginning of the season. I might put it up on screen just to show you guys, but I don't have it to hand right now. But we're still a decent amount off. I mean, we're a lot closer now. Our bike performance has increased by a lot. Again, we'll compare them side by side. Our bike performance has massively increased. But it seems like, of course, we have been given upgrades. But it is a shame because I assumed that we'd get upgrades sort of on par with Leopard now that we've beaten a Leopard rider, but it doesn't seem like that. It seems like we are just still right near the back. I mean, we're better than MTA. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. We're better than MTA, which is what Ortola's on. So maybe this championship will change. Maybe Ortola will start to drop through the championship a little bit more. Maybe we'll see some more of the Husqvarna guys, because Tech 3 is pretty far down the order as well. Pretty sure they were right at the top at the start of the season. So yeah, maybe after the summer break, there will be some changes. It's worth keeping our eye on. There we go then, a pretty exciting episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed that one. We've sorted out all the summer break stuff now as well. I would say let me know what team you want me to go to in Moto 2 in the comments below, because we probably will have to decide at some point, but obviously we don't really know what's going to be available. Obviously it depends on how well we do. I mean, we could obviously technically still win this championship, so that obviously would open up a lot more doors for us, but at the minute we obviously have quite a low reputation because we've had a bit of a mixed bag at the start of this season, so I'm not really sure exactly what team's going to be up for grabs. But do let me know in the comments below anyway if there's any particular teams that you would like me to be in. Probably will do maybe a proper poll when I've got the options, but it would be interesting to get your opinion because maybe it will sway my actual choice when the teams do come up. But if you are new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe. It really does help me out, and you'll get to see plenty more MotoGP 23 content from me as well. Lots of career mode, online videos, maybe some MotoGP Academy as well if you guys want to see some more of that. Maybe some game experiments at some point when I get the mods working, so do stick around for that one. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.